What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here in today's video, I'll be discussing the Rockets' free agency grade so far and why I think they've overpaid with their signings of Fred VanVleet, Dillon Brooks, and Jock Landale. Before I get into this, as always, please like, comment, subscribe, comment your thoughts on the videos, what you want to see, what you want to see me break down, who you want to see me talk about, and stuff like that. I really appreciate all the views and comments and subscribers that I'm getting. Hope to keep making these videos, especially with the NBA Summer League getting underway. Really appreciate you guys. And yeah, like I said, in this video, I'll be breaking down why I think the Rockets had a major overpay in the free agency this year. Before I get into the criticism on the deals, the Rockets definitely wanted to get older and mature in free agency with all the young guys and superstars that they have kind of in the making. Everybody hates the Brooks deal, but in my opinion, their biggest issue was the Fred VanVleet deal. He shot the ball a ton in Toronto and grew to be a player that the fans did not like. Early on in his career, they loved him, and over the past few years, it's become very disliked in the town by the fans because his play just wasn't improving, and he was very inefficient. He flourished as a role player and was decent when he wasn't trying to be the number one option, wasn't trying to shoot as much as he could, but he was not great this past season and somehow was still able to score a big payday. Like I said before, he struggled in a big way with efficiency as he shot under 40% from the field. He also had really poor shot selection all season long when he was on the court, not injured. He can play defense, however, and will help run the offense, which will definitely help for the younger guards that they have. They have been horrendous in the past few years and needed some veterans to offset the young talent. He'll set guys up like Green and like Thompson. Thompson's going to be working on improving his shot that needs some improvement, I would say. And Fred VanVleet can help him set up easy shots, get more open, stuff like that. So that's what, jumping into the next question, how will this impact Jalen Green and Amen Thompson and the other younger players' development? Something he will help run the offense and make it easier for Amen to get into a major role in the next few years, which is fine. But a lot of people want to see a high lottery pick make a bigger impact early. And with Fred VanVleet running the offense, it's going to be kind of hard to see Amen making as big of an impact as people want to see. They still will need some patience, though. He'll help the young guard's growth. And it's going to be big for him not to play hero ball and taking away shots from Green and taking away opportunities for Amen to grow as a player. I think Fred VanVleet knows what the front office wants in him, knows what the coaching staff will want, and will be fine taking the role on of a mentor, of a veteran. But he'll have to definitely tone down the shots and can't try to play hero ball game like he did at times in Toronto. Jumping to Dillon Brooks, he gets slandered hard, but he brings most of it onto himself. He's a really, really good defender. I wouldn't say tier 1 or tier 2, but probably right in that tier 3 range. He shoots the ball decently, but he can't force shots, similar to, like I said, with Fred VanVleet. In Houston, they have a ton of talent, young guards, even young forwards. There's a lot of young, good players that Brooks can gel with if he comes in and plays a role instead of trying to be a star like he did at times in Memphis, similar to Fred VanVleet in Toronto. He'll have to play his role, though. Knocks down the open threes he gets, but cannot force shots like he did in Memphis and think he's the number one option, because that's not the case. He's going to be a big defender for them. He's going to guard the other team's best players. He's going to take off pressure from guys like the wings. He's just going to make their jobs easier guarding the best players like LeBron James, like Kawhi Leonard, stuff like that. But he has to take on the role of being the star defender and on offense, leaving it for other people, letting other people take more shots while he more the 3-and-D guy, like I said. The Rockets were one of the worst teams in the NBA defensively, and he'll immediately become their best defender. He's a pest, and he'll give the opponent's top scorers an issue every single night that he plays against them. VanVleet and Brooks both play solid defense and are going to make their younger teammates' jobs way easier on the offensive end, taking some pressure off defensively. But they'll just have to tone into that role. Like I've been saying, you can't overdo it. They can't come in and think they're the big name. Obviously, they're getting paid good money. But with that, you want production, but you don't want people to overdo it. You don't want it to be a bad impact on your younger guys' growth. And I think Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks can do that. I think they can definitely have a good impact. I think they're definitely fine with buying into what the coaching staff, what the front office wants from them. But it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust to this new role, because it wasn't that before at all. Ime Udoka showed how good of a coach he was in Boston, and I don't think he'll have a problem coaching this roster whatsoever. He'll get the most out of his players as long as he can get them to buy in. Clearly, they're interested in buying into his system if they chose to sign there. Obviously, the money was probably better than they could have got anywhere else, but you're not going to a team who's been one of the worst teams in the NBA just for the money. If you are probably a certified loser, but both of these guys have been to the playoffs. Both of these guys have won games. Fred VanVleet has won an NBA Finals. Dillon Brooks played a major role in a team who was a top 4 seed in the NBA Western Conference. So I really think this could be a good signing for him. I don't think it is. I'm pretty much against it because I think they could have done better with other free agents, but with what they wanted to do and getting older and getting more mature. Dillon Brooks, question marks on maturity, but I think he can help teach the younger guys to go in the right direction. The last thing I want to discuss is if the Rockets really think these moves can push the needle for them to become a real competitor in the Western Conference in the next few years. VanVleet's deal is only a 3-year deal, so how well can they play in the next 3 years? Can they go from one of the third worst teams in the NBA to a top team? I don't think so. I said it above, but the defense was the biggest thing the Rockets needed to improve on this offseason, and they have. It was a massive overpay, however, and it'll be interesting to see how it does pay off. Looking at the Western Conference, I mean, they're not better than the Nuggets, not better than the Grizzlies, not better than the Lakers, not better than the Kings, not better than the Suns, not better than the Warriors, and not better than the Clippers. That's a fact that you can't really make an argument for any of those being better than any of those teams, even with their free agency moves. And then you have the Thunder, Mavericks, and Timberwolves, who I'm also taking them over. So that's, in my opinion, a guaranteed 10 teams better than them. Obviously, the final 3, maybe you can make an argument, but I don't even think you can. The moves might get them into a play-in, but I don't think much higher than that. I don't think the overpays are worth it. But you can also look at it from the angle that these are locker room guys and leaders that can help turn things around for Houston in the next few years. And when their contracts are up, have them playing in a much better way. Guys like Jalen Green are going to want extensions, staying in Houston, playing there. I think this is big for them. I think they can really breed superstars. I mean, Amen Thompson has the ability to be a superstar in the NBA in the next few years. Jalen Green was thought to be that when he was coming out. And then Alperen Sengun and Jabari Smith are 2 guys who the hype was magnificent for coming out. So I really like this team, the younger core. I didn't like the free agent deals. I think it was a massive overpay that won't be worth it in the long run. But if they can turn the guys like Thompson, Jalen Green, Sengun, Jabari Smith into superstars, obviously it'll all be worth it. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But that is it for this video. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the Rockets free agency, what grade you would give them. Of course, I think Dillon Brooks is underrated, I would say, but I wouldn't pay him $20 million a year. In the next few years, though, that deal could look fine because the CBA is changing and guys are going to be going for much more than that. So maybe it'll look like a bargain in the next few years, but I don't think it was worth it for the Rockets. That is it. I really appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, comment your thoughts on the Rockets free agency, and be dropping another video soon. Hopefully my next video will be on Chet Holmgren and my thoughts on why I think he'll win NBA Rookie of the Year this year. But yeah, tune in the next video. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe.